It's just me and Kate today doing an end of the year wrap. So today's the day after Christmas. We wanted to chat a little bit about what's coming up in 2026. I'm not going to do a huge wrap of the year and all the stuff that happened. We talked about that a little bit at the Christmas party when I did the speech and stuff. I think something that we've just seen and we're talking about and what we're trying to execute on is we're driving and traveling all over the state right now. Went to Cincinnati Christmas Eve right after we did the 12 days workout. We popped in just for something really late yesterday. And then today came in, did the workout, and then we're going to drive out to Coshocton another hour, 15 to hour and a half out to her folks. But a big thing we're trying to do is stay consistent in training. And because if, we didn't come back until Monday when we stopped working out on Wednesday, that would be really rough. We'd probably gain a few more pounds.
I think that's where a lot of injuries happen too, where people feel like they're injured, especially some of my older clients that come in, they haven't moved for 3 or 4 days. Their joints are all swollen up. They're really, really stiff. And the older you get, kind of the more that happens. Yeah. And I think just moving a little bit every day and not feeling like you have to do something great, like today was a perfect workout for the I'm trying to literally plan training around that too on the days. I'm trying to be mindful of it. I'm when I'm writing the workouts, even next week, I know when New Year's Eve and, New Year's Day and around those days and kind of things to plan that are not super explosive. I'm not putting Olympic weightlifting, into the workout, New Year's Day. And so people are going to get banged up and hurt. And I'm trying to work the workouts around imagining what people are doing a little bit. And today was, people are coming off Christmas. It's pretty dead in here today, actually. But it's an EMOM with wall ball and ab mat sit-ups and choose your own adventure on some step back lunges. Stuff I'm okay, anyone can wrap their head around doing it. If you're tired, you can grab a lighter ball. It's not easy by any means. You get into the third round of that, you start to, yeah.
Chucking 20 wall balls is hard. You don't want to do 20
wall balls.
Yeah, it's hard.
You want to do 10.
It's hard, and picking up the dumbbells and lunging them it's hard, but it's not sketchy or unsafe. And we're not telling everyone, hey, you have to do CrossFit classes straight through, or sometimes it's good to have a little break. But like you were saying, the older we're getting, especially for me, I have to move. Where I fall apart really fast now. If I take, when I was younger, I could take 2 weeks off and get back into it. And by the end of that week, I was feeling stronger than when I had left. If I take 2 weeks off, it feels like I took 2 years off now. So staying consistent, doing something. It's been warm out, just putting your running shoes on. Again, just if you're out of town, you're traveling back home and staying with your parents or something, get your running shoes on, go out for a 20-minute jog, stretch out, and if you it's a family tradition to sit around and, drink and stuff, maybe kick that off until later into the day. Something we talk about on the vacation podcast, where it gets bad is where it starts really early.
At noon or, yeah.
When stuff drags on, it's you can still have all of that fun. You just condense it into a few hours and be done with it and start drinking water after, and you'll be good. So,
yeah, I really feel that moving 7 days a week is key. Even if it's you're just doing yoga one day, or it's an hour-long walk one day on your 7th day, I think people think it doesn't matter, like, oh, this workout isn't really anything, but it does matter. And it's actually like the more consistent you are, the better. Instead of hitting 3 or 4 horrible workouts that are tons of volume, just doing like 7 workouts, but half that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So like that smaller stimulus, I think kind of keeps you from being too beat up.
Yeah. Yeah. Staying consistent during these holidays and then even winter months. So what I want people, if you're listening to it and to be mindful, we have our most cancellations of the year. We get our most new members in January, but our most cancellations are in January. And so why that is January is like that month where people are like, okay, I'm going to get it going, or I need a change. And maybe they haven't came in consistently over these holidays. And then, they get a week or two, they miss a couple Mondays in January.
Probably just thinking also you spend a lot of money over the holidays.
Sure.
And you're looking at like your checking account. Yeah. I'm looking at it this morning and like, ooh, okay, we need to just pare back on everything. And you think, well, you're going to save $180 every month. But something I've been talking a lot about is really like I want to put all my resources towards my health and whatever that means, like mentally, physically, in looking to not save money there, but putting your emphasis to take care of yourself. And the holidays are hard for a lot of people. And I really felt that this year, in our family, there was a death. And if you've had a loved one that's died, that's now it's your first holiday without them, they can be really tough. And I think people tend to get depressed. And it's not something that is talked a lot about over the holiday. I mean, you'll see it a little more on like social media, but can just really feel that if someone's missing, it's sad. It's really sad. And that creeps up with people around the holidays. And it's not always just a happy time.
Yeah.
And I know that's part of your experience the last 2 Christmases without your brother. And we have little kids that make it a little lighter, but it's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough. So I think to really be aware of that there's these emotions that can come up with holidays, and just getting sad, if you have parents that are getting older and you see death around them, and they're like, right, my aunt just died and it's scaring me with my parents, and the dynamics are changing. And to be aware of that's not going anywhere, but to keep moving forward and keep showing up for yourself, it's really important. Not that you can't take a day off, but people will say that like you're giving your body something positive, but most of the time you're just choosing not to show up for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay moving, guys. That's the big thing. Stay moving. It doesn't have to be hard. Go over on that barbell side. That's where I actually saw a lot of people today. On that barbell side, on treadmills, walking, yanking on lat pull downs. Like, that's fine. Do something that makes you feel good, gets blood moving, gets you into the gym, makes you feel good. We're not saying like CrossFit and doing all of this should be your number one priority in life, but taking that half hour and just jumping into the gym and doing something and keeping and maintaining some semblance of a routine and not letting it fall apart is I think more important than we realize.
Because you're showing up for yourself. Yeah. And this is a really good time of year if you guys don't have goals, to start thinking about the open and even like practicing little skills once a week. Like if you want to do it, but say double unders are a little tough for you, or
trying to unlock a skill will help you.
Just working on it like once a week, I think is something that to just even give yourself another focus besides just getting your workout in. Okay, I'm going to work on this one skill.
Let me segue that into, we want to talk a little bit about some things that are coming up in 2026. One thing is I'm going to be getting out a 2026 outlook to you guys in the next 2 weeks. That's just going to lay out a framework of our training. So all of our training blocks, I pivot a little bit throughout them. Some of the strengths will change, maybe even the themes a little bit, but I'll get that laid out. And then what's even better is I like to really try and get ahead of all of our dates for our socials, the Open, Summer Shred, Hot for the Holidays. So you guys can plan around whether it's travel or different things you like. If you like to participate in these events, get that whole year laid out for you guys. Get a PDF so it's sitting there, and then you can reference back to it throughout the year. I get a lot of questions throughout the year like, oh, when's this, when's that? And that's fine. But it's good to have that resource. It's like the old magnets that you'd have on the refrigerator that have all the OSU, dates for all the games or whatever.
Should send out magnets to people for all the CrossFit Grandview.
It's not a bad idea. Talk to Lexi about getting some of those made. All our events for 2026. So the Open this year, it starts the week of February 26th.
That's like exactly probably 8 weeks out.
Yep.
Right now. So it's a perfect time to start working on skills and then working on your conditioning.
So Sunday we have a skills class and it's kind of quiet right now, and it has been, and it's a great day and has been for the last few years if you want to get muscle ups or things like we just sit there for an hour and break it down. It's usually a smaller class. What we're transitioning with that class into is it's a purely open prep class for the next 8-9 weeks. So what we're going to do, those things will stay. We're still going to do like higher end skill work. And again, this is modifiable down to like someone who can't do a pull up all the way to like a lot of the level 2 people, if you're not great at handstand push-ups, like you'll get a lot out of that class still. But what we're going to do is set up a lot of EMOMs and conditioning pieces in that Sunday class that are very specific to like the Open, like, hey, you're doing alternating dumbbell snatches, minute 1, minute 2, it's double unders, minute 3, it's bar facing burpees, things like that will directly translate into that like sucky hurt that you get into for 15 minutes with like really challenging, like, but cyclical moves like that. So
that's Sunday at noon, right?
Sunday at noon. So I'm going to try and actually make some of those kind of leading into it just to kind of get my body prepped, because inevitably what always happens to me is like the first one for me is usually like the worst workout, and then I do a little better as it goes. Like I get my game speed going. I just get smacked by that first workout. So ideally I'd love to be a little more prepped for just that first like suck. The Open, I think, is a great community celebration for CrossFit. And I'm going to use myself as a big example here. Like, I'll be really straightforward. Like, my best days in the Open are probably behind me. I haven't done as well as, like, I used to do 10, 15 years ago. I was really serious into CrossFit, competitive CrossFit, and I was trying to do good and make, like, deeper layers of it. Now it's a checkpoint in the year, similar to Murph, similar to like our Summer Shred and our Hot for the Holidays. And it's like, if I do that by the end of, I knew by the end of the Open last year, I was in a lot better shape than I had started. I'd had those 3 really hard pushes. I kind of unlocked a new gear, and over the next, 6-8 weeks, I continued that momentum and got in a lot better shape. And every year that I do participate fully in it, I get, it's always a benefit. Sometimes it's a little bruised to my ego, because my placement isn't what I would have wanted it to be, but that's fine. It's another check. It's another notch. And just like our CrossFit total or our Rogue total, like you can compare it year to year, and eventually like now I'm kind of setting new standards where it's like, okay, how did I do the last 3 years? Not what did I do in 2012, So I love it it's like a longevity checkpoint. Like I'd love to have, 20 Opens under my belt here in the next few years.
Well, it's hard. You don't know what the workouts are going to be. So sometimes they play to your favor.
Absolutely.
And sometimes they don't. And you get lucky. And I think, just at this point, like if you can kind of maintain some skills and some conditioning and work on that and work on a new skill, it's fun. It's just motivating.
Absolutely. And the big thing is with the Open is it's this giant community celebration. People all over the world are doing it. I think it's a bit of the teeth to what makes CrossFit different than other training programs, or other boutique-y gym things like, Orange Theory. They're doing, they're running and they're doing stuff, but they're not training for anything. Like CrossFit does seem like it culminates in this Open in this season every year. So it adds some teeth. It's something that we're all sort of training for, whether we know it or not. It's like, it's like, okay, we're going to test what you're doing.
We have a couple workouts like that, though. I mean, we've talked about it on here, like the 12 days of Christmas. I mean, we just did that. So I'll look back on my scores. I'm like, how the hell did I do that?
Did you just PR it this year?
No. It looks like it because it wasn't set up as a benchmark.
Okay. You did very well on it, yeah.
But yeah, I was happy how I did this year. It was better than relative to last year. Yeah. But so we've got like always the 12 days of Christmas. We always have Murph. And then you have these other workouts that we'll do. But it's kind of cool to at least be like, okay, I think I can do Murph in this range. Let's try to work on that. Sure. Because when I do it within this range, I'm in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
And then it's not like, I'm probably not ever going to PR Murph again. I don't see how I could do under 35 minutes ever again in my life. Or maybe I didn't even do that. Maybe it was 35 something. But, just kind of setting those goals. Okay, let's try to get under 40. And I think it's fun to work on that. So if you're not like, we do summer shred, if I'm not like the fastest I've ever been, well, I can try to stay within this range. I can try to do like Murph within this range. I can try to do like 12 days of Christmas within this range. And then you're just kind of setting a standard for yourself, that you don't have to like totally let go of as you age, but then not hang on like you need a PR every time.
Well, I think the Open too, what I do, you do have some benchmarks that they'll retest here and there. What I do like about it is the workouts are varied, so it's not necessarily like banging your head against the wall like just a lift that you're not going to PR every time.
Or you're going to do Fran every year.
Yeah. So they do vary the workouts, and it's cool to see. I think it does, like, you can see your kind of where you're at. It gives you a good snapshot, the Open does, but it's only 3 workouts. It used to be the 5, and they would get a little more complex with the movements when they had the 5, especially in 2 to 3 of them. Where it's a little smaller snapshot, and if you would move on to do like quarterfinals, it's going to give you a much bigger one. I like the 3 because what I was starting to see, and I think what CrossFit did is 5 was a big commitment for people.
People drop off.
After 2 or 3 weeks, someone would travel, they'd miss a week, or or have a bad workout, and they're just like, I'm done. I don't want to stay in this for 4 more weeks or whatever it was. So 3 weeks is really doable to just like hang in there for it.
And if you guys are doing it, just sign up for it. Just actually sign up for it. Actually do all 3. Even if you have a crappy workout, just commit to doing all 3. And it can be tough. Again, like if you have something that shows up that you're not, I mean, there's certain movements that I can't do or won't do. And I know that, and if they come up, I'm just going to do the best I can and do the scaled and just be okay with that. And it's really just the luck of the draw. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's big one. I tore a pec on a ring dip, and I can do bar muscle ups and handstand push ups and do a lot of these challenging moves. But my best move that I had in CrossFit was ring muscle ups. Was the best thing that I could do, like in comparison to other people. And it was when that move came up in the Open, it was like my thing. I won't do them now because it's just like I get hurt every time I do them. So it's like, again, like I'm going to do the best I can. When that comes up, like my workout's over, I'm walking away from it, and we'll move on to the next one, and that's fine. Also, I think what is something I love for our gym just to hang our hat on is we have the biggest open participation in the state. Not the world, but the state, and we're up there. And I don't know if they're doing it this year. I don't think they are. We got like a $2,000 gift card for Rogue, and that's how we got those ski ergs that we have here. So I just put that right to it. It'd be great if they did that again. If not, it's a big source of pride to like have a big open turnout and participation. I don't know if we're going to do teams or any sort of specific challenge to it. It's tough. There's a lot of stuff to organize with a big group like that.
But we will have a DJ in here every Saturday, right? What are the hours for that for the open?
So we do that in the last couple classes. So we'll start that at 9.
Okay.
So we'll do that 9, and then the 10 a.m. class, and then through like that level 2 heat. So we'll get a little more specific on how we run heats and stuff right before it, but
it's a lot of fun on Saturdays.
It's a blast.
A big thing we have coming up this year, I'm super excited about. We just got affiliated with HYROX, and we're going to have our Rev programming kind of just slightly geared a little bit more towards like the HYROX. You'll still have a lot of your same workouts, but maybe mixing in more of those movements.
Yeah, can I explain that just for a second? So Grandview Barbell, part of our gym, sort of like our CrossFit side, is going to have a HYROX affiliation. We have all the equipment for it. We do need to set up some wall ball spots that are a little bit more specific for it. And then Rev is going to be our official HYROX training program. Now, if you're like a devout Rev person, this doesn't change a lot. But one thing you will see a little more of is some of the movements that are more specific to HYROX. So you're going to see some ski ergs more often. And you guys already have that in Rev. Rowing is a part of HYROX. Again, we're going to find a way to get wall ball trickled in there a little more, and I'll kind of explain that, how we're going to mix the CrossFit side in with that program. So wall ball will be involved. We do some burpee broad jumps in that. We do some sled pulling and pushing. Mm-hmm. So these are movements that I think you guys are going to love. They're not like barbell-based movements. They're not complex. They're stuff that's just going to add a cool flavor and spice to Rev. So, like pulling roped sleds and things like that. It's going to be a ton of fun. If you don't listen to this podcast, you may never even really understand the difference, except that, like, man, we're mixing in some new stuff that we haven't typically done. The old moves we do in Rev aren't going anywhere. You're just going to see some new ones. And then for people who want to do a HYROX race, I'll let Kate kind of take this. We're going to target one a little later in the year, and then that Rev program is going to start to point towards that a little bit more. Again, people who are just doing Rev for the exercise, it's not going to change a lot, but people who are targeting the program, it's going to start to prep you.
Yeah, so probably like mid-summer to late summer, we'll start to train. I wanted to give us 6 to 8 weeks, probably start like 8 weeks out, in really starting, at least for me personally, doing like the Rev and gearing up towards the HYROX. They only have competitions right now posted through like June, but I know there's some really fun races. I would love to go to Chicago. I think that would be a fun city to do a HYROX race in. It's close. I think we could get a fun group of people. And if we're affiliated and we sign up as a gym, I think we can get
like a group discount and stuff.
Yeah, maybe a discount. But the big thing that I've heard is it's hard to get in.
Oh, okay.
To a lot of these competitions, like super stressful to sign up. But if you're a gym, you can get in like 6 weeks early. I'm not sure about a discount, but
okay.
Yeah, and so what we're looking to do,
they're just tough to even.
Yes, to even get in. Like they sell out. It's growing so quickly. So again, we have to find a competition, but we're looking at like very late August or September, kind of to target that, and then maybe starting like around like July to start training for it. So the HYROX competition, you can look it up online. There's 8 different movements. I always forget one, but basically you're running 1,000 meters in between each event. I know the first one is the ski erg. I know we have the ski erg, the row. We've got the sled push, sled pull. There's a lunges with the sandbag. There's, I believe it's an 80-meter burpee broad jump, and this is just like the open category. There's wall balls, and then there might be a farmer's carry. That might be the eighth one. Yep. Okay, so there's like an open division that I'll do. You can do it in teams, but we just felt like if we're gonna run the HYROX affiliation, we'd probably do like the
you can do there's relay divisions.
Yeah.
There's pairs where you can split things up. So there's lots of ways.
The pairs, they do all the running together, which ends up being 5 miles. So it is mainly a running event. And the time it takes is usually around like, for normal people, like 90 minutes to 2 hours. So you'll see those rev workouts start to ramp up a little. And even just with like, hey, if you're targeting the HYROX competition in the fall, run a mile before you come into rev, or finish with a mile.
Yeah, you may have a little block to finish with to just get that volume in, to get your body used to moving for
90 minutes.
Yeah. And Rev does a good job of keeping you moving for 45, but you're going to need to double that sort of
and
feel.
Knowing what that feels like, and just to get your body used to it, then also like how to fuel, how to recover, all that. And then you were talking about maybe doing like a Sunday.
Yeah, so that's where I was going to so Sunday, what I think that we're going to do is make that a HYROX class on the CrossFit side. So turn Sundays into a HYROX themed class. Typically Sundays, what we have been doing over the last year, I would say, Sundays have been, carries, drags. So a lot of stuff that is kind of involved in that. And then maybe a little bit lower intensity day. Again, if you do CrossFit and you like Sundays, it's probably not going to you're probably going to like it because it's going to feel really creative. We're going to, get ropes on a bunch of sleds. You're going to be sitting there doing sled pulls. You're going to be ripping ski ergs, doing wall balls, kind of tying up some of the things that are a little more challenging to do over on the barbell side, and doing them and using that open room. And then one thing I do think I will do is make that a community class.
Mm-hmm. So everyone,
meaning if you have a barbell membership and not a CrossFit one, that one day you would be able to come to the CrossFit side and participate in that. So it would kind of tie up that some of the loose ends that are, again, when you have a 10,000 square foot room instead of a 1,500 square foot space, it's going to be easier to do, like, obviously wall ball, pushing sleds with multiple people at a time, maybe the carries or the burpee broad jumps.
And the sandbag lunge.
There's a lot of stuff that it will be easier to do. And then the barbell side is great for, using the treadmills to do focused running. Again, we have all the rowers and ski ergs. We'll be able to do some burpee broad jump. We'll be able to do a lot of it, but that CrossFit side will help us that one day tie up some loose ends to really make that a complete program. Look for that to start a bit here in January. It's going to be an evolution like anything when we start it, and it's going to look probably better and cleaner in 4 or 5 months. But I think it's all stuff that we're all just going to like, whether or not we want to participate in the sport of HYROX or anything. It's just going to make the class more dynamic and fun. And,
but HYROX is pretty inclusive. I mean, it's similar to me to like doing a half marathon or a 5K, or it's, I mean, especially like, if you're like, okay, I'm not a great runner. This is like really daunting to think to run 5 miles. They have a relay, so you can get the relay in where you don't run as much. The partners, you do all the running together. You just split up the movements, but you can really participate in it in any way. And I think it's just something fun and a little different to do.
There's a reason it's super popular, and the more I look at it, it's like it makes sense. This thing it's hard. it's a big challenge, but it's broken up in a way that the barrier to entry is lower than a really tough CrossFit competition. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have to have some of the physicality and the nuanced coordination and snatching or walking on your hands that you would to do like a tough CrossFit comp. You need to run and build some basic capacity, and it's hard and it's a big challenge, and you do have to train for it, but the funnel is bigger, and so it's easier to get people to come do it.
Yeah, and it doesn't take all day. You know, it's like you're going to be done in a couple hours, and we'd love to, like, I can kind of put something together if you guys are interested in. You can always reach out to me. Here in a couple months, we should see more of when the competitions are, and I'd love to get even, get a block of room someplace in a fun city, and maybe we can hang out afterwards. Yeah, and it'd just be a fun weekend, I think.
Yeah, and I think with the big thing in 2026, what you're going to see out of us is the consistency that you're used to seeing out of CrossFit Grandview. So maintaining our events, maintaining our socials, like all this stuff that you love about us. Like, we have this huge class schedule. Like, we're not going to jump, like, all our classes are, we're maintaining all of these things, but we are revamping everything too, top to bottom. How we do everything, we're reorganizing it, our training, our programs, everything we're trying to improve on, make it new, novel, and better, including the challenges, summer shred, hot for the holidays. We're going to have different twists, spins on it.
We just want to keep it fresh.
Everything
for you guys.
fresh.
Yeah.
The parties and socials, some of those may change venues, like, to make it fun, fresh. Like, we want to, like, keep the energy up.
We don't want to just keep redoing just because we're redoing, but we want to be consistent. So, we're just discussing this. We're going to continue to discuss over, like, the next month or so about how we can kind of revamp Summer Shred. And I really love all the workouts that we do, but maybe change the test in and the test out. Because I think everyone looks forward to, like, high banks, the obstacle course. No one looks forward to the track workout.
How about a full bodybuilding contest at the beginning and the end?
Patrick Cohen, there you go. You win it. Bodybuilding contest into a mile run.
Yes.
Into 100 pull-ups.
That's what my friend Corey would always do. He would, like, his big thing was, like, he did the bodybuilding show, the powerlifting contest, and I think he did, like, maybe an Olympic weightlifting meet, or he did, like, three things.
That would be a lot of fun.
All in, like, one weekend.
And you gotta come out to a song. You have a whole song. Every person, you'd only get like 3 or 4 people that actually do it. So
no one would sign up for that.
Just a pose off. Just one pose off song.
We're gonna make the buy-in and cash out maybe different than the 5K. We do like the running based workouts that we do. But we may vary. We used to do Fight Gone Bad. I think it was a fun way to do it, but it's an easy one to kind of sandbag a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and it's real close. It's close to the open. Yeah. So we want to differentiate, from the CrossFit. But what's fun is we've got Murph. We're looking at maybe running it a week early this year. We haven't come up with
to give a week, because we've had it finish Saturday before Monday Murph.
Yeah.
We want to finish it the Saturday before Murph starts.
Yeah. So I think that
so you have a week to kind of recover from
Saturday, May 16th is like the last day, but then it would give us like 10 days or something to recover from Murph. But to kind of prep for it, because that's something I feel like most everyone does and really looks forward to it. So we just want to make sure the standards are clean and easy to execute on, because sometimes it's tough when you get tired, like push-ups and squats, and the form's not looking great. So
yeah, we'll figure something out that's fun and really simple, and I'm looking forward to it. 2026, I think, is going to be a great year. We're figuring out our new. It's been 5-6 years, our post-COVID rhythm and the new building. We've been here 3 years now. So it's it's funny, like the evolution of the business, but you know, there's a different era, and now we're reestablished here in a new era and how things work here. And we've got a good handle of basics. And now it's time to just like level everything up that we do. And 2026 is going to be a big year for that. I think like from top to bottom, all our programs, leveling everything up, doing a better job with each thing that we do. And I'm excited for this year coming up. So we're going to lay out our whole year here for you guys in the next couple weeks. I'll get the Open Prep training program. I'm going to be working on that this week. We're finishing up sort of our gap, our holiday schedule next week with New Year's and all of that. And then the week following that will be week 1 of our Open Prep training program, which I'll get a PDF that lays out the 8 weeks of like our strength work and all the basic themes and things for that. But you're going to be seeing just a little bit more skillful work, more dynamic, like Olympic weightlifting in class. Again, being mindful, not banging you guys up, but having you guys very prepped and ready for everything. Happy New Year's. We will see you next week.